several items to take care of this evening. Proclamations we'll start through first. That's one of the high honors of being mayor of Bonner Springs. But also, I'd appreciate it if everyone stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing for our invocation this evening brought by Councilman Thompson. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before your throne of grace boldly but humbly, and we thank you for all that you've done for us in this city. We acknowledge your blessings upon us, and we thank you for that. We've come through some tough times, and we still are doing good, and I thank you for that. Father, I thank you for the privilege to serve the people of Bonner. I pray that we never take that privilege for granted. I pray that you'd continue to be with the people, be with those who are employed by the city, continue to watch over us. I pray for the welfare of the city, because it is through this city that we'll receive our welfare. We thank you in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And the first proclamation that I have the honor of bringing is for the Mark 50 Forward Day. I have our Mark representative that's here this evening. I'm Jeff Harrington, Mayor of Bonner Springs.
Mayor Ron Ackelpool, Director of Transportation and Environment.
Well, thank you so much. The proclamation reads, whereas for half a century, local government in the Kansas City region, picture people, have come together through the Mid-America Regional Council, MARC, to partner on regional initiatives and develop innovative solutions. And whereas the region consists of 9 counties and 119 cities, which benefit from working across boundaries on a wide variety of issues and coordinating with diverse disciplines and sectors, including cities, counties, nonprofit organizations, social services, educational systems, and special districts. And whereas the region's leaders engage in informed decision-making through insightful data analysis and participate in a problem-solving forum to positively impact progress. And whereas each jurisdiction and individual has a role in creating a strong regional community and enabling everyone to come together to achieve positive change for the next 50 years. And whereas MARC is an organization that promotes regional cooperation through leadership, planning, and action, and is guided by the core values of integrity, innovation, collaboration, diversity and inclusion, excellence in performance, and service leadership. And whereas the City of Bonner Springs has participated or benefited from working across boundaries, allowing us to better serve residents because of our regional work regarding public safety, transportation, environment, early learning, aging, and shared local government services. And now, therefore, I, Jeff Harrington, Mayor of the City of Bonner Springs, Kansas, do hereby proclaim June 10th, 2022 as Mark 50 Forward Day in Bonner Springs, and urge local leaders and community members to reflect upon the great progress made in the past 50 years and join us in welcoming a future built upon strong regional collaboration, connections, relationships, and accomplishments. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Very good. Would you like to add anything?
I just thank you for your recognition of our long and strong relationship together. It is a pleasure to be out this evening, and I appreciate the proclamation. Look forward to seeing you on the 10th.
Very good. Thank you. And it's an honor to be a part of MARC, although I personally haven't been involved the whole 50 years, but almost. So. Almost. Thank you very much. And our next proclamation I'm honored to bring is concerning National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Ladies? Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Dottie Lovell, and I'm a Wyandotte County resident here with Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. And Chelsea Kinney, what she said.
Very good. Whereas every day more than 110 Americans are killed by gun violence, alongside more than 200 wounded, and on average, there are nearly 16,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas cities across the nation, including Bonner Springs, are working to end the senseless violence, and whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe, and whereas in January 2013, Hydea Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15. Whereas a group of Hydea's friends asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is the color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas by wearing orange on June 3rd, 2022, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now therefore I, Jeff Harrington, Mayor of Bonner Springs, Kansas, do hereby proclaim Friday, June 3rd, 2022 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in Bonner Springs, Kansas, and encourage all citizens to support their local community's efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. Thank you very much. Let's do this. Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I would like to thank you, first of all, for agreeing to sign the proclamation for us. And we just want to raise awareness to a problem that exists, because if we don't know there's a problem, we can't look for ways to try to fix that problem. So we appreciate the publicity you've given us.
Certainly.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tim Nye. I live at 16259 158th Street, Bonner Springs, Kansas. Wow, this is the first time I've ever been in this building. This is amazing. My father would have graduated from high school in this building had he not been pulled into Marines in World War II. But this was a high school, I think, when he was around. Last fall, groups of people in 10 different churches in Wyandotte County gathered in their respective churches and brainstormed a question: what keeps you up at night? Imagine how you might respond to that question. What keeps you up at night? What do you worry about? As you might suspect, the answers were quite varied and at times personal. We gathered all our responses together and voted on two to tackle. The two answers to the question we selected boiled down to, number one, homelessness or affordable housing, same issue, and violence in Wyandotte County. We have spent time examining and researching these issues and meeting with various elected officials and individuals who might have a stake in working on these problems. We sought solutions that might address these problems of homelessness and violence in Wyandotte County and prepared to meet with elected officials who might help us improve life in Wyandotte County. We are now prepared to meet on June 7th at 6 p.m. That's a Tuesday evening. We will gather everyone together seeking solutions to the issues of homelessness and violence in Wyandotte County. We will meet at Mount Carmel Church of God in Christ on North 12th Street in Kansas City, Kansas. I'll repeat that again. June 7th, that's a Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. at Mount Carmel Church of God on North 12th Street in Kansas City, Kansas. I would like to go on record as personally inviting every one of you as elected officials here tonight to attend this important meeting. I'm going to provide every official here tonight an invitation and a ticket to attend this gathering. Admission is free. However, we request everyone attending to have a ticket. Once again, that's Tuesday, June 7th, 6 p.m. at Mount Carmel Church of God in Kansas City, Kansas. I will be there because I care about the people of Wyandotte County. Thank you. If I have a moment to give everyone. Can you get one to Mr. Shannon and Mr. Kep and Mr. Reeves? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Thank you.
Minutes of the May 9th City Council meeting and claims for city operation. Anything to be pulled by city staff? Citizens? Questions or concerns from the council? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
So moved by Mrs. Irvin, seconded by
Stevens?
Yes.
Gurley? Yes. Wood? Yes. Thompson?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. The first item of new business this evening is a public hearing to consider an industrial revenue bonds for Medline. Our first action, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion to open a public hearing at 7:46.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to open a public hearing at 7:46. 7:46 to consider the issuance of industrial revenue bonds for Medline Industries Incorporated.
So moved by Mr. Stevens and seconded by Mr. Thompson. Questions, concerns, comments, staff introduction?
You need to vote on that. You need to vote on that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, staff introduction.
Amber Vogan, Assistant City Manager. This came before you in June of last year for their initial resolution of intent. And they have requested, due to some increases in construction costs, they'd like to increase the maximum amount of the IRBs that would be issued. And they also asked for an extension of time. They initially asked for a 5-year extension. This resolution would give them a 2-year extension, and the terms are the same, except for if they push it out 1 year, there's a 1.5% increase in the pilot payments the taxing jurisdictions would receive. If they push it out a second year, there's another 1.5% increase to those pilot payments. And then we would also, part of the agreement is that we would have them build a welcome sign at the corner of 110th and Riverview as a concession for extending it and for increasing the amount. And then the Riverview improvements would still need to be done by the end of this year. And Tyler, Ellsworth with QTAC Rock is also here to answer any questions about bonds or pilots.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Tyler Ellsworth with QTAC Rock. I don't have a lot to add to what Amber just provided about the proceedings here, including the public hearing and the resolution of intent, which you're being asked to consider following this public hearing. I would note that with the increased par amount that Medline has requested for the IRBs, we have to conduct a public hearing and look at the cost-benefit analysis that results from the increased par amount of the bonds. And that cost-benefit analysis looks at the impact of the requested property tax abatement on the various jurisdictions. So the city, the county, the school district, the Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and the state. And so I think it's worth noting, this cost-benefit analysis was in your packet, but I think it's worth noting what the benefit to cost ratios are from the cost-benefit analysis here in the public hearing, just so they're part of the record. So I'll go ahead and do that. Based on the increased par amount and the adjustments to the project, and we had the cost-benefit analysis prepared by the State Department of Commerce. So this uses their model for preparing these cost-benefit analyses. The projected benefit to cost ratio for the city is 1.35 to 1. The projected ratio for Wyandotte County is 1.09 to 1. The benefit to cost ratio for the school district is 1.46 to 1. For the community college is 1.02 to 1. And for the state of Kansas is 13.05 to 1. I think it's worth noting that even with this increase in construction costs that we're addressing through the increased par amount of the bonds, all of these benefit to cost ratios are positive. In other words, the benefits are projected to outweigh the costs to each of the taxing entities. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any specific questions about this or about the following item on your agenda.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak for this consideration?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Matt Goff. I'm an attorney with Barber Emerson Law Firm. I represent Medline Industries LP. And it was not quite a year ago that we were before you, where you approved the IRBs for the project. And since that period of time, as you may have noticed in other examples, costs of construction have gone up. And in this case, the estimates of construction for this facility have increased around $12 million. So that in and of itself would require an increase to the bond capacity that you approved last summer. And in addition, the company requested more time, in this case 2 additional years, to complete the construction of the project. It's the same project. Not much has changed except that now with this new pilot agreement, you'll have some new signage. There's an agreement that certain public infrastructure work be completed by the end of next year. That work is in process, and so should be done on time. I'm pleased to stand for questions that you have. Otherwise, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Anyone else that'd like to speak for? Anyone here in the audience that would like to speak against this increase in the industrial revenue bonds for Medline? Seeing none, I would go ahead and entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:53.
Mayor, I make a motion to close the hearing at 7:53.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Thompson and seconded by Mr. Stevens. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Questions, concerns, comments? We'll start down here with Mr. Stevens.
Or do we want to go to the next item, which is actually the,
Okay.
We're just closing.
yeah,
the
because we
hearing.
don't have an actual motion on the floor yet.
Okay. Then I'd entertain a motion for that as well.
We need to vote to close the hearing? No, we did that, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion.
All the help. It's a group effort.
I'm sorry.
It always is. I'm
Shutting
married.
up now.
Make a motion to adopt a replacement resolution of intent to issue industrial revenue bonds in a maximum amount of $89,500,000 in property tax abatement for Medline Industries Incorporated.
Second.
No, I'm glad to see the project hopefully move forward, but, yeah, I think rising costs are an issue, and we've all seen it. Look at our budget. So I don't see any issue at all moving
Nothing
forward on
from
this.
me.
Seeing nothing else, vote please.
Voting on a motion to adopt a replacement resolution of intent to issue industrial revenue bonds in the maximum amount of $89,500,000 and property tax abatement for Medline Industries, Inc. Wong?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Congratulations. Thank you all. The information was great. Again, thank you. I enjoy seeing the cost-benefit analysis. I'm sure nobody else does, but.
Well, I actually did.
On to item number 3, Teague Lumber, special use permit extension request. Staff.
Evening, everybody. Mark Lee, city planner. Last year, we approved a special use permit for Teague Lumber to operate out of a job trailer for temporary office. Mr. Marketeer with Teague Lumber has kind of run into some difficulties, as everyone else we've been discussing the past couple times. Supply chain issues as well as material costs. They're requesting to extend their special use permit for, I believe it was 2 years. I don't even have any paperwork, but just due to those issues in common. And then they're moving forward with their project. As of today, Mr. Marketeer's here if you guys have any questions of him, but they're moving forward. They just need some more time.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else to add? No, he did great. It's in progress. Great. Anyone else that'd like to stand and address? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to, which one are we on, Teague? To adopt an ordinance allowing an extension of the previously approved special use permit SUP 0221.
Second.
So moved by Mrs. Gurley and seconded by Mrs. Woods. Questions, concerns, comments, and we'll start down here with Ms. Long.
No questions. Nothing.
Nope. No questions.
Appreciate you coming out this evening. I know it's been a hardship on everybody, and this is part of it. Bonner Springs is glad to have you here and look forward to your continued success. Very good. Very good. We'll go ahead and have a vote, please.
Voting on a motion to adopt an ordinance allowing an extension of the previously approved special use permit, SUP 2-21. Stevens?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. On to item number 4, which is the Community Center Foundation repairs. Oh, staff.
All right, good evening, council and mayor. Justine Spees, recreation manager. We're requesting to use some of the previously approved CIP funds for this year that were allocated for gutters, downspouts, and fascia over the community center, and use some of them for some foundation repairs. It's been leaking for a while. Leaking is getting worse. We got a quote that came in about a little over $13,000. And then we have another quote that came in to repair some of the roofing issues as well as some of the guttering and soffits on the community center. So with that, there would still be some funds left over to do the remaining work that the CIP was originally allocated for.
Very good.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Anyone else have any other questions, concerns, comments concerning this issue? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept the quote from K.C. Peer for Community Center Foundation repairs in the amount of $13,290.
I'll second.
So moved by Mr. Stevens and seconded by Mrs. Gurley. And we'll start with questions and concerns, comments right here with Mr. Thompson. Ms. Vaughn? Ma'am?
Is this going to keep the foundation in a pretty good spot for a while?
We really hope so. They're going to do a lot of work, and addresses, are talking with Public Works maintenance people. They're like, this is the best way to do it so far.
Great.
Sir?
First thing I might mention is the swimming pool filter must really be working great the way you came bouncing up here, so you were
I'm
happy.
really excited about it.
I'm guessing from what it looks like, with the amount that you had kind of dedicated for the gutter and those repairs, are you cutting back on what you're having repaired, or your estimate now considerably less?
I will defer.
It looks like you have a quote that's considerably less than what was initially allocated, so.
We didn't have a quote to work with when we were doing the CIP funds. We knew that there were significant issues with the guttering and soffits over in that building when we were there, when we had wildlife visitors. So that was to repair that and do as much as we could. And I think this quote from Gorilla, I don't know that we have it in here, but a local roofing company gets that taken care of, as well as a few other issues that they saw.
Good, because I just want to make sure we weren't cutting back on the repairs that are needed because of the foundation, then we still are going to end up problems in another year or two. But so those the repairs for the guttering and such will all take place properly.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to do the downspouts as well.
Downspouts will help a lot. And the foundation concerns on the far corner. Yeah, under the old locker rooms.
Yeah, where the old locker rooms are, yes.
That's going way back before all yeah, that's been concerned for a long time. And the downspouts, I think, are a big contributor to that. One time we talked about some cosmetic improvements to the awning or the front facade. That will be another project.
Yes, we do have a few projects that we're proposing for next year. That wasn't one of them on the list. We're starting with the ones that are most noticeable inside that also create kind of a safety problem, and then just kind of work from there as we can.
Not that the timing, there's a lot of other priorities, I'm well aware of that, but that's something that eventually we'll have to look forward to too. It's not, I mean, the important parts are the water and how it gets away from the building. Thank you. Anything else? Seeing none, vote please. Oh, you had, I thought I asked you. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I just wanted to thank you for the incredible illustrations that showed the situation that was happening.
They took good pictures, yep.
Now, anything else? Vote please.
Voting on a motion to accept the quote from K.C. Peer for Community Center Foundation repairs in the amount of $13,290. Thompson?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Swimming pool's gonna get opened up. All right.
How are we doing on staff?
Not as bad as other places, better than most. Item number 5 this evening is an executive session. We'll need to have an opportunity to make a motion to go into executive session. We'll do this by retiring into an anteroom where we'll have that executive session. We will not be closing our city council meeting until after we return. So the amount of time that you expect for that, Okay, 15 minutes, very good. And those that you need to be in the executive session, be you and... All right. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss real estate acquisition pursuant to the exception for preliminary discussions relating to the acquisition of real property, KSA 75-4319BC. And the open meeting will resume in the city council chambers at 8:20 p.m.
Since you did all the hard work, I'll move.
So move. And, including Chief Naff, Officer Kendra, and Sean Peterson.
Still move.
Second. Moved by Mr. Stevens, seconded by Mrs. Gurley. All those in favor? Opposed? Very good. Excuse us for just a moment. The rest of our items this evening for our reports, the first of which, the city manager's report.
Few quick things. I want to thank everybody involved with Chief Hubble's retirement party this weekend. A lot of people there. I know it meant a lot to not only Chief Hubble, but his family as well. The one thing I've said that afternoon, and I'll reiterate this evening, is Chief Hubble exemplifies what it means to be a public servant in so many ways that it's remarkable. When you think about the amount of time and effort that not only he has provided to this community, but also his family. That came up quite a bit, but not a lot of people, I think, realize the amount of just everything that goes into being a volunteer in this day and age, especially when it comes into volunteering for a fire department. So, again, I want to thank everybody that was a part of that, and thank Chief Hubble for everything that he's done for this community for 38 years plus. So that also, you might notice that we're having a little bit of fun at Lift Station 2, which is down off of Front Street. This is a lift station that is a significant part of our infrastructure as far as the flow that goes through it. I think 80% of our wastewater goes through this lift station. It's also not in great condition. It never has been. I think it may have been used when it was put in. But the reality of it is it's being bypassed right now. There's significant investment going into that. So I just want everybody to be aware that it's going to continue to probably be an issue as far as the correction going on for at least the next couple of days. Raining doesn't help that situation, so they got pretty deep. There's I think they're about 25 feet deep right now, and they needed to shore it up even lower than that. So just generally be aware of traffic issues, concerns around those areas. The next council meeting, there will be a discussion about the water plant and where that project is at. We're really kind of at that decision-making point, or hope to be, I should say, with moving forward with that project. The design part of it is wrapping up. Contracts are wrapping up. We just want to spend a little bit of time going over with the council community exactly what that means as far as what the project entails, what it has entailed, and kind of where we'll be at once this theoretically moves forward. And again, with that will kind of set the wheels in motion to move one way or another. And then lastly, two other things. June 6th, we will be having a off meeting, if that makes sense. First Monday, council will be meeting with the Planning Commission to go through some of the initial findings with the community surveys that were completed, as well as kind of going through that comprehensive plan, future land use conversation. So want to do this in tandem with the Planning Commission to make sure that those efforts are taking everybody's thoughts and concerns into consideration. Again, using the public engagement that has been done thus far. And then lastly, Memorial Day, city will be having its Memorial Day event at the cemetery on the 30th, Monday at 10 a.m. So glad to have that back. That will be in person. Contrary to, I think, was it 2 years ago it was recorded? So back in person. Yeah, it was canceled last year. So again, some events going on. And Memorial Day weekend also corresponds with the opening of the Aquatic Center, so all systems are a go there. Not sure if weather will cooperate, but we're looking forward to it. So that's all I have.
Very good. Other items from city council members, and we'll start down here, ma'am.
Sean, thanks for your help on getting that information for those citizens. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all right. Ma'am?
No.
Nothing for me.
Just a quick question, Sean, on that joint meeting. Will there be any look-ahead materials sent to us, provided to us?
I believe there will be, at the very least. I think it was in my packet, city manager report today, but some of the initial findings with the survey data. If there's anything specific you'd like to see before, let me know. Obviously, we're updating some plans that are a little over a decade old.
It's just nice when you go in, you kind of have an idea of what the agenda's going to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
what's gonna discuss.
I'll check with Mark Lee. He's the one that's kind of putting everything together. But yeah, certainly there'll be a lot of information to go over. So we'll make sure to try to get that to you before the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. That's it.
Very good. Well, the first thing I'd like to do this evening, I saw a wonderful volunteer, Rick Ledgerwood, with our volunteers in many capacities, but you have this evening, if you would like to stand and come forward, all of you. Braylon, I'm sorry. No? Braylon, I'd appreciate it if you'd introduce yourself to the council.
I'm Braylon Casey. I'm Braylon Casey.
And he is the Eagle Scout candidate that worked on the memorial project at the police station. Can you tell the rest of them more about this? What all you did?
We put a memorial garden out by the generator for the fallen soldiers for the fallen police officers.
Well, I was honored to be there and watch the presentation this last week, and it was very well done. And the garden is right out what I would consider the back door, but what often the police officers consider the front way they come into the police station, and it's a very nice honor. So I appreciate what you've done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Speaking about volunteerism and how that's changed over the years, and to have Eagle Scouts, or the whole scouting project, as well as all the volunteerism. Thank you very much. Other than that, I am going to be hosting the Johnson and Wyandotte County Mayors Association here in the next week, and I look forward to doing that. We'll have another opportunity to spotlight our adaptive reuse of our 100-year-old buildings, so I'm very excited about that, as well as the Memorial Day program that we'll have on Monday. 10 o'clock is when that will start. It'll either be 100 degrees or raining, so prepare for both of those. Nothing else will be an option, it doesn't seem. Had an opportunity to travel over the last few weeks, and it's great to be home. And like I've said before, every time I go someplace, I recognize how nice Bonner Springs really is, and how great a small community we have, and how much we have to be thankful for. Other than that, I stand for questions. Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.